Hi guys, today's video will be a little bit shaky because this big guy weighs over 20 kilos and it's so big that it doesn't fit in my wide view camera setting when camera is on tripod. So I'll be pausing to rotate the amp, and I'll be doing some additional pauses too. To move the camera around, to move the amplifier around. Our hero for today, our subject, is Accuphase E405 clone. The thing is, we should get one thing right out of the way. This is not exactly a clone. Original Accuphase E405 was integrated amplifier, sporting selection of inputs, some tone controls, some balance controls and stuff like that. This one, on the other hand, is just a pure power amplifier, only output stage. No preamplifier inside, no tone controls, no balance controls, nothing like that. Just a pure power amplifier. Okay, so you may get it only in gold color. However, there are versions that have yellow, gold VU meters, but you can also get one with black VU meters. I've decided to get black ones on my own because they are quite cheap. I was able to get them for less than $10, and I think it looks better with black VU meters. I link I will link in the description to the particular offer for black VU meters, so you won't have to repeat the journey I had with choosing the right type, size and connection type. Okay, so let's move it away. Before we'll do the outside tour and before I will do the inside tour, let's talk about the specs of this amplifier and let's see it power on. Yeah, the VU meters are lit up and you should heard the clicking of relays. It has a slow start, so basically you won't hear music playing until all the capacitors inside are charged and it's ready to go. Okay, now moving to the specification. This is Class AB amplifier. It's able to deliver 160 watts into 8 ohms load, and it almost doubles for 300 watts into 4 ohms per channel, but it also accepts 2 ohm loads and 16 ohm loads. I have no information, no reliable information on power output for 2 ohms loads, but I've read in the descriptions of some of the AliExpress offers that it's about 420 watts per channel, so that's quite powerful beast. You can get one of those for a little bit under $1,000, shipping included. I got it a month ago, I think. I've used all coupons, Ali coupons I could, all coins and stuff like that to lower the price, because in the clones world it's pretty expensive, but it sounds good. That was a spoiler. Okay, so now I will power it off. Sorry, some specs. Yes, one more important thing. I have no measurements for that, but I found the official information that the signal to noise ratio is 116 decibels, and that's a very nice and welcome score. It's a very high number, and most of the popular consumer amplifiers have this in range of 80 decibels, 90 decibels. Excellent amplifiers have this in range of 100 decibels, and this one has 116 decibels of signal to noise ratio. Okay, so one more thing before we'll do the outside tour. It came with the best packaging box so far. The packaging box was weighing something like 5 kilos alone, and it had the biggest and greatest amount of foam inside, so it was very well protected. But it should be, because it's heavy. It's a little bit over 20 kilos on its own, so the whole packaging was a little bit over 25 kilos. Okay, now we'll pause the video, I'll shut down the amp, and we'll do the outside tour. The first thing in front, handles, VU meters. Let's do the close-up on the VU meters. Yep, it's like that. And we have a power switch in the center. This plate is just for the decoration purposes, so it will look like the real Accuphase a little bit, but it doesn't serve any other purpose. Yeah, nice. On the sides we have cooling fins, really big set of cooling fins, and in order to get it to the back, I'll need to pause the video. Okay, so we're back, and my table has one more scratch. Okay, what's in the back? The interesting things are happening in the back, because this power amplifier has both sets of inputs. It has balanced XLR inputs and RCA single-ended inputs, and you can choose between one of them using these switches in the back. All of my testing was done using XLR inputs, because I always prefer balanced connections, and I always prefer full balanced setup, because that's the way I have configured the rest of my devices in my main setup. Okay, we have two sets of speaker binding posts. They are quite solid and they are quite big. They will accept spades, bananas, and quite thick bell wire, but they could be of a little better quality. But again, it's something that you may change on your own if you feel like doing something like that in your house. We have power inlet, and we have integrated fuse compartment here. Other than that, we have information on the back. The information says it's model E405. The power supply in this case is for 220 up to 240 volts. In my case, my inlet has 239 volts, as I measured this last night, and the maximum power that it will consume is less than 500 watts. What's important here is the name of the producer. As you can see, manufacturer is Foshan Buriwanda Technology, and that's a full long name for Breeze HiFi. So this clone was produced by Breeze HiFi. I've reviewed already a couple of amplifiers from that company, so I have big expectations for how does it sound, because everything else previously reviewed was also very nice. Okay, and this probably means that I should not open this, because it doesn't contain any serviceable parts, and it should be opened only by qualified technicians. But I don't know Chinese, so I will just open it. Okay, now pause for opening the amplifier. Okay, so we basically needed to remove the upper plate. And let's try to get focus on that. Yeah, it's quite thick, it's very solid, and it's very heavy. The whole chassis is very solid and very heavy, and it's very well built. Okay, so what do we see inside? We have a huge toroidal transformer with shielding. The specification says that this transformer is A-core transformer, and it's good up to 800 watts. So we have some quite large power reserve. Okay, we have inside we have two mono amplifiers with exactly the same boards for the left and for the right channels, and these are using 10 pairs of ON MGL 21193 and MGL 21194 pairs of transistors, if that's something that would be of interest to you. What's also interesting here is these RC capacitors. As far as I know, this is a French company producing some of audio equipment capacitors, and these look very real because they look like they have been used or repurposed from other equipment, which is good in my book. We have two status LED per channel, so when it's powered on, you'll be able to see that it works fine because both of them will be lighting up in red. We have some nice VMAC capacitors, and we have a lot of transistors here. I like them to be more straight, so I will straighten up them later. We have two fuses per channel. One is at the top and the other one is at the bottom of the board. Yeah, we have some relays, but this is I mean it's not the Omron relay. It's a Chinese Zhuang or something like that relay, and that's it. I was quite surprised not to find within the smaller caps anything like Nichicons or Elnas, because Elnas and Nichicons are quite popular in other amps that I've reviewed. Okay, the main power reserve for the amplifier are these two caps. These are rated 67,000 microfarads each, and each one of them is rated for 75 volts. Can you see that? Probably not. Maybe. Or maybe not. I'm not able to focus on the printing here. The print here says 70,000 microfarads. So that's a lot. And what else? Let me pause the video and rotate the amplifier once again. Sorry for the shaky video, sorry that it's not always fitting in a frame like that, but it's big and I have to use one of my hands for the camera, the other one for pointing different stuff, and that's it. So just a second for rotating this. And we're back and we can see small PCB boards for inputs, for balanced input, and single-ended input and switches, and we have delayed start circuits here. What else I should point out is that the wiring inside is very neat. If you take a look at the whole amplifier inside, there are no loose cables, there are no wires that would be too long or too short. They are cut to the right needed length, and they are very neatly placed in a symmetric way in this amplifier. So I like that a lot. Okay, so we've covered the outside, we've covered the inside. Now some measurements. First thing, the power that it's using when playing and when idle. When playing it was using 214 watts and idle was 212 watts of power, so basically just 2 watts difference, but that's within margin of my Tuya smart plug. This is a very high power, very powerful amplifier, and I wasn't listening to the earth-shattering volume levels, so maybe just this 2 watts were able, or maybe more, that's hidden in the summary power output what's were needed to power my speakers. Okay, so let's move it back for a second. Okay, should be better now. I've also measured DC voltage on the output on the speaker tabs when inputs were selected for RCAs and the actual inputs were shorted, and the result is excellent. It's absolutely excellent, because for left channel it was half of millivolt, and for the right channel it was 1 millivolt. So in my book these are excellent results. What else? The temperature. It gets quite hot. It's not as it's not as warm. It's not as hot as some Class A amplifiers. But when it was playing music for like 2 or 3 hours, the temperature stabilized between 44 and 47 Celsius centigrade. Sorry, degrees centigrade. So Celsius. Okay, and I think that's all about the build, the outside, the inputs, and the inside. Now let's move to the test setup, description, and to the actual sound qualities. Test setup description will be exactly the same as for my other recent reviews. So basically I was using DSD and lossless files that were played by Foobar from my fanless HTPC, and the HTPC was connected via USB with Singxer SU6 digital to digital converter, and Singxer output was directed I2 squared output was connected to Gustard X26 Pro and Semibreve DA50 Asahi Kasei 4499EX based digital to analog converters. So 2 of them in order to be able to compare qualities of Cyber DAC and AK DAC, how will they sound with this particular amplifier. Okay, the outputs of the digital to analog converters, the balanced outputs were connected using fake Dragon XLR cables, which will have their own review, very good interconnects. The power cable used for the amplifier was also fake AudioQuest Dragon high current. The speaker cables, also fakes, I know, were Nordos Thread Downs, AudioQuest K2 and AudioQuest Dragons. Yes, I think I've covered everything that was needed here. Okay, now let's talk about the important bits. Let's talk about the sound. So, with my usual scenario, let's start with the bass. The bass is deep and very, very powerful. I'd like it to have a little bit less of mid bass, but this mid bass gives kind of warmth. The overall bass signature is on the warm side. This bass does not bleed into the mids. I'd like it to be a little smaller, the mid bass, but it's not bleeding and it's not covering the mids. So that's something very, very good. And that's actually something that I liked during my listening sessions. I'm not used to that kind of bass. I usually prefer, if you will, planar bass. But this was something very nice, very relaxing. Okay, it's very powerful, as I said, and the bass fills the room with sound. You can feel and you can hear the bass coming from all directions around you. So that was also something very nice. One more thing that I've noticed, that the lowest notes, the lowest frequencies lacked some precision. It was not something that was bothering me, but that was something that I've noticed on a few of my test songs. So bass at the lowest bottom was a little bit loose, but again loose compared to other clones that I reviewed. Compared to regular consumer amps, this bass is a killer bass. Okay, moving on to the mids. The mids are very delicate and very melodic. I loved all kind of string instruments. I loved all kind of small ensembles playing, violins playing, harps, etc. Because each sound was very, very nice, very melodic, very relaxing. The voices were very good and very natural, both male and female voices, but I liked female voices more because of this melodic quality. They sounded nicer. Okay, the voices were also full-bodied. They haven't, sorry, my mistake, I'm a little bit tired in the evening. So they never sounded thin. They sounded full-bodied, but they didn't sound thick neither. So they were just right, very natural, very organic. Okay, one more thing that I've noted about the mids that I've already told you, but I think it's quite important, so I'll tell it again. The mids do not sound thin. They sound very natural, very full-bodied. Moving on to the treble. The treble is very well extended and it's very detailed. It's very airy, though this detail in treble doesn't come with sibilance, which is a very nice thing, because some of the amplifiers, not the ones that I've reviewed here, but the others that I've heard during my life, sometimes acquire this detail in treble by boosting some frequencies. And such amplifier will have nice details, but it will also be sibilant. Not the case with this one. This big boy will have very extended and detailed treble, but without any kind of harshness and without any kind of sibilance. So that's very, very good. So the treble is very nice, very melodic, and it's not fatiguing at all. You can listen to this amplifier for hours, which I actually ended up doing, and that's why I'm quite tired now, because I haven't slept well last night. I went to my bed. It wasn't even late. It was actually early in the morning. Okay. So we started to talk about the detail. So let's continue about the detail itself. The interesting thing that I've noticed listening to this amplifier is that all the important detail, all the bits of information in your tracks are there, but it doesn't sound analytic. You may say that it focuses on the front row, on the leading instruments. If you will focus on the background, you will get that and you'll grab that additional detail that's lurking in the back. But it will not push the detail that's found in the background into your ears. It will focus and it will make you focus on the front row and leading vocals, leading instruments. Okay, that's about the detail. So all in all, I liked the detail here. I usually like a lot of detail, but I also like my amplifiers and my other equipment to sound musical. So that's the good connection, to be able to look into the details, to look for the detail, to hear all the detail, but when you want it. But when you want to just to relax, to lay back and listen to music, I want the sound to be melodic and relaxing. I want to hear the detail when I want it, but I don't want it to obscure the music and the melody. Okay, moving to scene and imaging. Very good imaging, very good stereo image in all three dimensions. A lot of information for the left and right channels, a lot of information for positioning depth planes, and a lot of information for height information. So I really like this quality of this amplifier. It's very three-dimensional. But again, this information is there, but the focus, the thing that catches your attention, is the front row and the center image. So if you have a vocal, if you have a singer there, it'll immediately grab your attention. Okay, so the center image is very strong. What I also thought is that maybe I would like it to have more precise, more focused images of instruments, because they were not, I could pinpoint the locations, but they were, how should I say that, maybe a little bit fuzzy on the edges, if you know what I mean. It was not something that was bothering me at all, but I still have in mind the TPA 50-55 monoblocks, and these were titans in precise etching of the sound. So maybe that's the reason I've noticed this. Anyway, all in all, I really like the imaging of this amplifier, and I really liked, especially like the layering of the information behind the speakers. Why? Because sometimes with some amplifiers, the depth information can be like flat layers positioned one after another. So it would be looking like a cardboard cutout. Yes, there is an information for something that's behind the scene, but it's flat and flat and flat. Not in this case. In this case, it was very nicely positioned. Okay, some loose notes that not always fit into these categories, but something that I've noted during my listening session. This amplifier is very easygoing and it's very effortless, and I think that's coming from the fact that it's really powerful. You never feel and you never hear it struggle with any kind of music. It's like even the hardest tracks, even some complicated orchestral track, will be coming to this amplifier without an effort. It's powerful and it has great power reserves on top, so it's very dynamic. Full orchestral swings, changes in volume from a very quiet, very delicate to full blown sound of full orchestra were very nice on this amplifier. Maybe very nice is not exactly the best word. They were raising the hair on your neck. So I liked them, and it was something that caught my attention. Okay. The next thing is something that I've also told you about when I was describing the bass. This amplifier fills the whole room with music. I'm not able to find other words to describe this feeling. Some of amplifiers are able to move the sound away from the speakers, so you won't be able to pinpoint the location, and that's very nice, that's very good. But this particular amplifier, maybe because of the power, maybe because of the specific bass, was able to fill the whole room with music. The whole presentation was very relaxed, and it was a bit on the warm side. One thing that I've noted here about that is that I wouldn't probably want to pair this with warm sounding digital to analog converter or warm speakers. It's warm, it's very nice warm, it's not too warm, but I wouldn't risk pairing this one with something that's also warm, because we could have a case of too much of a good thing. Okay, so my final note and my summary was that this amplifier was making me just relax and enjoy the ride with my music. It's great all arounder, a bit on the warm side, very inviting and sounds very analog, and it's really powerful. I like that. When I've connected this to my Ascents, oh, I forgot to tell about the speakers. Yes, the speakers. I've used my Dali icons, Dali Opticons, I've used my Martin Logan Motion 15s, I've used my Martin Logan Motions 55 XTI, and at the end I've connected this E405 clone to my electrostatic Martin Logan Ascent 1 speakers, which are very demanding speakers. They require a lot of power. They are a difficult load because they drop to 1.2 ohms in the treble, and they are absolutely transparent, and they show you everything that the whole setup is presenting. So my notes for Ascents was that with Ascents you clearly hear that yes, it is on the warm side. It doesn't sound totally airy. It is airy, but it's not totally airy, and you clearly hear this hint of warmness. But the treble still stays very well extended, so it's a good kind of warmness. It's not warmness in type of blanket on the speakers. It stays very well extended in the treble. You hear all the treble details, but also in all it stays very relaxing and engaging. And I think that in a way it's a very similar feeling that I had when I was testing the preamplifier, the clone of C245 Accuphase preamplifier, also made by Breeze. I didn't have the time to test all of the combinations of this amplifier with different preamplifiers that I've tested previously. But I think I will do something like that. Specifically, I want to test this power amplifier with this Accuphase C245 clone that I have. Yeah, I think I'll make a video on that. Yeah, so great all-rounder, very nice, very engaging, very musical, very relaxed, never sharp, never fatiguing, and never sibilant. Invites you to relax, invites you to lay comfortable on your bed and just listen to music. I probably forgot to mention something. If you feel I did, just ask me in the comments. If you have any additional questions, just ask me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, you may buy me a beer. I'm a beer guy. I like to try different beers from all around the world. I travel a lot, so I have an occasion to buy beer here and there. But it's not necessary. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. Stay tuned. I'll be reviewing more amplifiers. If you browse through my YouTube posts, you'll find some hints on other amps that I acquired recently, and preamps too. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you'll have a great day, and see you and hear you next time. Bye guys and gals, because the YouTube statistics told me that the girls watching the channel, the percentage of the girls watching the channel raised from 0.2 to 2.5%, which is a success. So, guys and gals, thank you. See you next time. Bye.